Well, the most difficult part of covering the election has been just the scale, the size of this electoral process. Around 60 million voters to report on, 150,000 polling stations to report from, 36 different states plus the FCT, that's the Federal Capital Territory where Abuja is, thousands of candidates running for the Senate and House of Representatives, more than 20 political parties in all, more than 14 presidential candidates. So just basically covering all of this fairly, adequately, appropriately is extremely difficult because of the limited resources that many media organizations have. We're covering both sides fairly by trying to give equal time and equal opportunity to the main political parties and the key stakeholders in this electoral process. The main political parties being parties like the All Progressives Congress, that's the main opposition, and the ruling party, the People's Democratic Party, but also the umpire, that's the Independent National Electoral Commission, reporting on what they're doing, how they're doing it. We've been trying to report fairly by taking on board the experiences, the views of each of these stakeholders, the information they're trying to communicate, and at a practical level what that has meant is doing lots of interviews, attending lots of meetings, attending lots of press conferences, covering events, going on campaigns, going on fact-finding missions with these organizations. So I think we've really tried to adequately report on and inform our audiences in respect of really what is important in terms of this electoral process and who is important. I reject the notion that we are a propaganda machine for the main opposition presidential candidate, Muhammadu Buhari. I've been at the center of editorial decision-making in the coverage of this election. On a day-to-day basis, I have made sure that each of the main political parties is adequately reported on. I've interviewed the main opposition presidential candidate. I've interviewed President Goodluck Jonathan. I attend the press conferences of both the main parties that take place on a regular basis. We've been on the campaign trail with both of the candidates. So we've been incredibly fair and incredibly balanced vis-a-vis our reporting of those two main candidates. So this idea that we are in some way a mouthpiece for the opposition is completely false. Well, I accept that there has not been enough coverage of what goes on in the southeast of Nigeria and in the southwest outside of Lagos. The focus has been mainly on events in the northeast. I don't accept that we haven't covered the South-South, which is the oil-producing region. For these elections, we deployed a team to the South-South in the run-up to the elections. We had a team based in Port Harcourt, which is the capital of the richest oil-producing state, Rivers, and we reported on how the electoral process affects oil-producing communities. We could always do more, that's the truth. We could always do more, but I think the challenge has been our resources have been limited. And also, I guess, when you look at the southeast of the country, which is known as Igbo land, that's the main tribe in the southeast, and then when you look at the southwest of the country, that's Yoruba land, excluding Lagos, which is also in the southwest, but a very populous state. These are peaceful states, those areas, and I think, yes, we do need to do more to report those areas.